Burning oil, scalding water, searing grease, flames, blades. More accidents happen here than in any room in the house, more than even the workshop. A kitchen is a workplace, one that often includes kids not old enough to recognize danger, and anybody can work here. No training required. Hello, I'm Andrew Friedman. Judging from emergency room statistics, our kitchens sometimes seem out to get us. Over 500,000 people each year head straight from the kitchen to the hospital emergency room. Countless more treat their own nicks, burns, and bruises. Most people label their injury an accident and curse their bad luck. Don't believe it. These so-called accidents are often the result of dumb plays. Let's see if we can show you some smart plays instead. Guess what household object accounts for more emergency room visits than any other? Chainsaws? Hatchets? Nope. Try kitchen knives. Take a knife. Add a round, slippery object to be sliced, and you have a recipe for injury. Consider the lowly bagel. How would you slice one? Well, okay, there is more than one way. There's the handyman method, preferred by the woodworker set. Then there's the gadget lover's method. Very efficient. Next is a dumb play that lands people in the ER. For a start, Cindy uses the wrong kind of knife. To cut bread and rolls, use a knife with a serrated edge. That means a knife with little teeth, like a saw. A serrated edge works best for foods with a skin or crust and soft insides. Bread, for example. A straight edge knife is better for carving meats or cutting vegetables. Our bagel cutter used her hand as a cutting board, a definite dumb play. Knives slip sooner or later. Expert knife handlers don't play chicken with their fingers. They often hold foods like this, not like this. So here's a better way to cut that bagel. Using a serrated knife, start the cut with a bagel lying flat. Next, stand the bagel up and cut through it. To finish the cut, lay the bagel flat on the board again, slicing away from your hand. If you still fear the killer bagel, there's only one kind you should buy. Pre-sliced. Here's a salad prepared by a careless homemaker who forgot a basic rule of knife handling. Keep fingers above the sharp edge of a moving knife when possible. That way, when the knife slips, you still have 5 fingers. The slip might be an accident, but the finger's in the wrong place is not. This person might once have been all thumbs, but if she keeps working like this, she might become no thumbs. Assume the knife will slip. Keep those body parts away from the path of the knife. Give round or slippery foods a firm foundation for cutting. Cutting an apple in half first gives a solid foundation. Here's a dumb way to chop nuts. Here's a safer way to chop. Use a knife with a curved blade called a chef's knife and rock it back and forth like this. The fingers are safe and this is easier to control. Cutting a squash or frozen bagel is tough and dangerous. Try softening it first in the microwave. Once softened, it cuts easily. Don't skimp on quality when buying knives. You won't find plastic handles and flimsy blades in the kitchen of a real chef. Of course, a quality knife might cost over $20. A dull knife is a dangerous knife. It takes more force to cut, so it's moving faster when it slips. So keep knives sharp. Sharpen knives frequently. Occasionally, send them out to a professional knife sharpener. Store blades in a knife drawer, the container they were purchased in, or a holder that keeps the blades covered and out of children's reach. When loading the silverware rack of a dishwasher, load small knives and sharp objects pointing downward so they can't jab anyone who reaches in. Don't hide knives under water or where they can't be seen. It's no accident if someone slices a finger on a knife or blade hidden underwater. Food processor blades are razor sharp. Clean them by hand and never store them loose in cabinets or drawers. Broken glass can be a lethal weapon. If you have kids, consider plastic. It's safer. Be aware that broken glass can fly a long way, possibly over 10 feet. Dispose of broken glass so it won't cut someone who might reach in the trash bag. If you use a dish rag or sponge to pick up broken glass, sharp pieces can stay in the rag and injure the next user. Beware of thin goblets and fragile glasses. Stuffing a dish rag inside to dry the goblet can lead to a handful of broken glass. If a dish breaks underwater, drain the water first, then pick up the broken pieces. Kitchens mean high heat and flames. That's another way they can be out to get you. Watch this sequence and see if you can spot the dumb plays. Cindy's loose sleeves can easily catch handles or even catch on fire and cause so-called accidents. Cindy's legs are bare without a protective apron. Scalding water or hot grease on bare legs could leave permanent scars. And dropping a knife onto a bare foot, well, you get the idea. Cindy stores paper towels so close to the stove they could catch fire. She uses a small pan on a large burner. That leaves flames creeping over the edge of the pan. Use cookware that covers the burner completely. Cindy uses a front burner and leaves the pot handle turned out so it could be knocked off the stove. That's a dumb play. Keep pot handles turned inward, but not over open flames. When the doorbell rings, Cindy leaves the bacon frying on a hot flame. She should turn the heat off or way down. When she returned, the pan was smoking. She panicked and tried to carry the hot pan. That only adds danger. She should have turned off the heat and covered it to cut the oxygen supply. She uses a dish towel to hold the pan instead of a hot pad. Dish towels can catch fire. Keep hot pads within easy reach. She runs water on the hot grease. Because water and oil don't mix, the grease splatters. Tiny drops can fly far enough to burn. Here are a few other smart plays to prevent burns. Open lids so steam escapes away from your face. Steam burns can be just as serious as burns from flames. That holds true for microwave foods as well. Intense heat builds up in microwave food. Microwaves can sometimes heat food unevenly. The surfaces can be merely warm while the insides are scalding. Test microwave foods before you eat them, especially before feeding to infants and young children. When microwaving, always give heated air a vent to escape. That means cutting a slit in covered foods or holes in a potato. Never cook tightly sealed pouches or containers in the microwave. The steam buildup could cause them to explode. Turn burners and ovens off when you finish cooking. It sounds so easy, yet any firefighter can tell tragic stories of people who forgot. Don't set your water heater so high that water can scald. Water heated beyond 130 degrees Fahrenheit is dangerous. Very young children can turn on hot water. Watch for the flammable symbol on household products. Store any that are flammable well away from the stove. A fire extinguisher is as important as the kitchen sink. Buy an ABC or an all-purpose extinguisher. You want one that works on grease fires as well as other kinds. Be sure the whole family knows how to use the extinguisher. Check the gauge on it at least twice yearly, perhaps on the days you change your clocks for daylight savings time, to be sure it still works. Grease can build up inside ovens and ventilating hoods. Keep them clean so the grease can't catch fire. Clean spills as soon as a stove cools down. If you have a flare-up inside an oven during broiling, turn off the oven and keep the door shut. Don't use ovens to store anything, even temporarily. If you forget, you could start a fire. Modern gas stoves and ovens are safe, but must be treated with care. Natural gas is odorless, so suppliers add a distinctive smell as a danger signal. If you smell gas, turn off the oven and any stove burners, extinguish any flames in the area, and open windows and doors to ventilate. If the smell is very strong, don't operate any electrical switches. Even a small spark could cause an explosion. Call your gas supplier immediately, preferably from a neighbor's home. After cuts and burns, shocks are the third kitchen danger. Can you spot the electrical hazard here? The coffee maker is close to the sink. You don't ever want to mix water and electricity. Keep electrical appliances like coffee makers and toasters away from water. Newer houses have ground fault intercept circuits that cut electricity in a millisecond in case of a shock. An electrician can install this safety feature on older homes. Unplug small appliances during electrical storms. When using equipment with a detachable cord, plug the cord into the appliance first, the wall last. Food poisoning is another so-called accident that can usually be avoided. A few simple rules will prevent most foodborne illness. Never leave perishable food unrefrigerated for more than 2 hours. Bacteria grow fastest in warm environments. Never eat off a plate that has come in contact with raw meat or its juices. Cutting lettuce and tomatoes on the same cutting board used to chop meat or poultry is a dumb play. Cooking will make the meat safe, but you don't cook the lettuce or tomatoes. Cook foods thoroughly. High heat destroys most dangerous bacteria. Lots of chicken contains salmonella bacteria. If you ate raw chicken, you would get sick often, but you're protected if you cook the chicken thoroughly. Some meat, especially ground beef, contains E. coli bacteria, but like salmonella, E. coli can't stand the heat. To reduce the risk of food poisoning, eat your beef well done. That means without a pink center, at 155 degrees or more. Another way to judge is to be sure the juices run clear, not red. Every year, children like Molly suffer serious injuries at home or while visiting kitchens where homeowners think they have no worries because kids aren't around much. We're going to reveal dangers by looking at a kitchen through the eyes of 2-year-old Molly. Viewing the world as Molly sees it, that kettle handle says, "Grab me." A 3-footer could easily pull a stool over and climb up to see what's on that counter. Grandpa's visiting, and to Molly, his medicine might look like candy. Gramps has trouble opening bottles, so his pills are not in child-resistant bottles, and he left the cap on loose. Keep medicine stored out of sight and out of reach. Heavy objects and hot liquids could easily come crashing down. Keep hot liquids and sharp objects away from the edges of tables. That dangling appliance cord on the toaster is another problem. It could catch in a cabinet door or be pulled down. Never use extension cords on kitchen appliances. Keep appliances as far as possible from the edge of the counter. Use safety caps, plastic inserts on all unused electrical outlets. They keep toddlers safe from shocks. These refrigerator magnets might look like candy to a toddler, so keep them out of reach. Flat surface electric ranges look great and are easy to clean, but you can't always tell what's hot and what's not. Kids recognize a flame is hot, but an electric cooking coil is not quite as clear a danger. Teach your child the meaning of hot and that the stove, whether on or off, is a no.
Do you ever go near it, Molly? No, you stay away, okay? Because remember our word, hot.
Never put anything by the stove that would attract kids. A child can climb on the stove when you're not around. Teach your kids that kitchens are for cooking, not playing. Establish a safe area near the kitchen where a child can play away from risk, but under supervision. Consider a no zone directly in front of the stove. Teach your child to avoid this area. Never leave a small child alone in the kitchen.
The stove is very hot. Okay, so stay away from the tape. Do you understand? Okay, you understand that you need to stay away?
Move all breakable equipment to high shelves along with anything that has sharp edges. Knives, graters, food processor blades, vegetable peelers, for example. Serrated edges on boxes of aluminum foil or plastic wrap can cause nasty cuts. Baggies, sandwich bags, or plastic food wrap can suffocate infants. It only takes a small piece to completely block the airways of a young child. Store them out of reach. Keep matches and lighters, alcohol, detergents, bleach, and other chemicals out of children's reach in a locked cabinet. If you have toddlers in your kitchen, install safety latches on cabinets and drawers that contain dangerous items. Keep garbage containers away from children, fitted with a baby-proof lid. Make sure children know what they can't do when home alone. A 5-year-old might know how to use the toaster, but not what to do when the bread sticks and starts to burn. Train children in basic microwave safety. Teach them that microwaves are dangerous and can burn. Many burn cases prove young children cannot see the danger in an oven that looks so much like a small TV. Yes, the kitchen is a family gathering place and a room for creative cooking, but it's also a workplace. You've seen signs at factories and construction sites announcing how many days it has been accident-free. Perhaps every kitchen should have one as well. If you follow the ideas we presented here, you can come very close to stamping out accidents completely.